All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hello, hello.
Hello, teacher.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Hi, teacher. Fine.
Hello. All right.
Teacher.
Hello. I'm glad to hear that. All right. Very good. Let's just give maybe one more minute for the rest of our students while we wait for them. Let me show you the agenda very quickly, and then we will start with coordinator Lilian Carolina. Okay, so I will show you the agenda first, and then she will speak to you. So first, we are going to check the exam, parts of the exam, B1.5. So I'll give you some feedback on that. If you have any questions or anything that you would like to talk about the exam, we can do it in this moment. Then we are going to do the cycle presentation. So how is it going to be graded, important dates, information about the project, information about Moodle, etc. Right? And then we will start working on the topic. So unit 9, this is phrasal verbs, some practice, and finally just a short game, a short activity. Okay, so this is our agenda. Now I will let the coordinator Lilian speak and say hello to you guys.
Buenas noches para todos, profe Laura, para todos los y las estudiantes del grupo 1 del nivel B21. Quería saludarlos hoy como casi siempre, pero sobre todo hoy porque están llegando al nivel B2, ¿no? Inician ya esta última parte del camino. Yo estoy muy emocionada, estoy segura de que la profe Laura Juliana también, y ustedes mucho más porque ya sentimos que lo vamos logrando, ¿no? Entonces, de verdad que es un orgullo para nosotras tenerlos en este programa y que hayamos recorrido todo este camino juntos. Esperamos que lleguen hasta el final. Quería también recordarles pues que vamos a tener un par de ceremonias el 28 de junio en las que ustedes van a recibir sus certificados que demuestran que ustedes completaron todos los niveles de A2 y todos los niveles de B1 que los acaban de terminar, ¿verdad? Finalizando el proceso, cuando lo terminen, también recibirán pues como sus certificaciones finales, pero entonces espero que pues si no pueden asistir a la ceremonia, pues estén muy contentos de recibir a través de correo electrónico estas certificaciones que les va a expedir el Instituto de Lenguas de la UIS. Recuerden que el 28 de junio la ceremonia de A2 es a las 2:30 y la ceremonia de B1 es a las 4 de la tarde. Las dos son el mismo día, pero pues primero es la de A2 y luego es la de B1, que son las que les corresponden a ustedes en este momento, al punto que han alcanzado, ¿verdad? La razón por la cual se hacen las ceremonias en este momento es porque hay una fecha determinada para realizar todas las graduaciones del primer semestre del año y posteriormente se hacen las graduaciones del segundo semestre para no estarlas haciendo. Por si de pronto alguien se preguntaba hoy, pero A2 lo terminamos hace ratico y bueno, porque hay, pues como dices, como el protocolo establecido por el instituto para las ceremonias de graduación. No sé si tengan preguntas respecto a ese día. Si no las tienen, bueno, creo que todos recibieron el correo. Si de pronto alguien no recibió la invitación, tengan la seguridad de que pues ustedes, los que han estado en el programa y cursaron y aprobaron A2.4 y cursaron y aprobaron B1.5, van a recibir las dos certificaciones, la de A2 y la de B1.5. Si alguien ingresó después de la A2.4, pues solo recibiría la de B1, la de B1, ¿no? Sí, la de B1. Pero los que hayan estado en A2.4 y en B1.5, cursado y aprobado, pues van a recibir las dos. Mabel, y cuéntame. No le voy a quitar mucho tiempo a la profe, pero buenas noches, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. Qué pena una pregunta
Dime.
respecto a los días de la graduación. Eh,
Sí,
la una es a las 2:30 y la otra es a las 4.
sí,
¿Es
señor.
posible asistir solo a una y recibir los dos certificados?
Yo creo que sí, Mabel, y sería que en ese momento, digamos, si llegas a la primera, ¿verdad? Y sabes que vas a recibir las dos, de pronto anunciar tu llegada, que pues tú vienes a la ceremonia o sea, que tú vas a recibir doble certificación, la que van a entregar a las 2:30 y la que van a entregar a las 4, pero que por ejemplo, en el caso de ustedes, supongo que la segunda ceremonia ya les queda muy sobre la hora del curso, entonces que de pronto no pueden quedarse hasta el final porque tienen que asistir a la sesión, que sí sería posible que pues que les entregaran una ya adelante, pues la otra sí se las podrían entregar ahí, yo creo que les colaboran. De todas maneras, yo voy a sugerir a las personas encargadas de la logística, no soy yo, porque pues el instituto sí tiene como todo todos como su equipo de trabajo, que va a estar a cargo de esa ceremonia, porque es ceremonia para todos los estudiantes del instituto. Entonces, yo no estoy a cargo de esa logística, pero sí puedo como sugerirles eso, que en la medida de lo posible, si no se les desordena ya mucho eso, que les den esa posibilidad, ¿cierto? Porque sería pues chévere ir y de una vez recibirlo. O lo contrario, que de pronto llegaron tarde a las 2:30, no alcanzaron a recibir y que quieren que, pues les entreguen allá la de B1, pero que también les busquen la de A2, pues yo creo que también sería posible. Sí, como les digo, siempre y cuando pues allá no se les desorganice mucho porque van a entregar de diferentes niveles, ¿no? De todos los programas del instituto, pues yo creo que sería bueno que les pudieran colaborar. Gracias, Mabel, y por esa pregunta que nos sirve también como sugerencia para ellos.
Vale, muchas gracias.
A ti no hay más preguntas, ¿no? Bueno, listo. Entonces le doy la palabra a la profe Laura. Termino aquí en un ratico mi seguimiento con este grupo. Y espero que participen mucho, ya que están en el nivel B2, los quiero ver hablando, todo muy, muy participativo, sobre todo hoy con este clima. No sé en qué lugar se encuentran ustedes, pero acá está lloviendo terrible. Entonces, si no nos motivamos nosotros mismos, no sacamos el día. Gracias, profe Laura Juliana, muchas gracias.
Okay, gracias. Gracias, Lilian. Okay. All right, guys. So as Coordinator Lilian said, today we are going to start our new level B2. So first, I want to congratulate you all on your efforts during this past level of B1. Okay, so we already completed A2, B1, and now we are starting this final part, right? B2. So we need to be on the same level or advancing at the same pace as we have done so far. So we started in A2, now B1, and finally B2. We are expected to have a lot more fluency when we are speaking. Our vocabulary has or should have improved a lot by this point, right? So vocabulary on our grammatical structures as well, especially in our speaking part in fluency. So that's what I will be expecting from you during this level B2, right? So as I told you, we already read the agenda. Now let's check the attendance, the list, and we will start with the exam feedback very quickly. And I will hear any questions that you have regarding this part of the exam, okay? So let's check the agenda. The attendance, sorry, I will turn off my camera for a moment. And let me get the list. All right, Gerson Arismendi.
Hi, teacher, present.
Hello, thank you. Jean-Claude Barrera.
Present, teacher.
Jessit Calderon.
Present, teacher.
All right. Natalia Camargo.
Present, teacher.
All right. Okay. Andrés Correa.
Hi, teacher. Hi, teacher. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you. All right. Silvia Cuellar.
Hi, teacher, present.
All right. Johan Duque.
Present, teacher.
Okay, Johan. Elkin Fernández.
Present, teacher.
All right. Julián Figueroa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Ginette Fontecha.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Carlos Galán.
Present, teacher.
All right. Mabel Gamboa.
Present, teacher.
Okay. José Alejandro Gómez.
I'm here, teacher.
All right. And Lisette Tarazón.
Present, teacher.
Okay. We have all of our students now are connected to the class. All right, good. So let me open this exam, this part. Just a moment. All right, so I will show you briefly some parts of the exam. We are not going to check all of it because, especially here in the listening part, because we cannot listen or we don't know what the topic was, the audio precisely. So there's like no point in checking A, B, or C because we cannot check or compare what was the audio, right? So for the listening part, we had some questions. You had pictures to select the correct picture that related to the audio, right? So that was the first part. We continued in the listening part 2. So you had to hear an interview with a person and then answer the questions accordingly, right? The reason for Angela's trip was to make money for other people. What does Angela say about her life now? She likes to be active and busy. When Angela had flying lessons, she got to know her teacher. During the trip, Angela and her teacher did very little sightseeing, like go around the cities and or visit important places around the city. They didn't do this. 12. What did Angela enjoy most about the trip? Watching the changes in the scenery, el paisaje, scenery. And 13. What did Angela miss most while she was away? She missed regular exercise. So in this part, I think what was most difficult for some of you was that the answers were not literally in the audio, right? We needed to pay attention and interpret what was said to the answer, right? It was not literal, but it's like in a deeper level, right? We needed to change some words, find some synonyms in this part. Okay, so this is like the most difficult, I think, for you in this one. Well, and listening part 3, in this case, you had to take the words exactly as they were in the audio and write them here. So this was not that difficult for you. Some of you wrote using the parentheses, which was okay. I just checked your exams and counted this point as a positive or correct answer, right? So don't worry if you wrote like with the parentheses or this, right? It was okay. Well, we had the numbers 175, tourist office or tourist offices. At the beach, the answer was the beach. And finally, computer or computers. So I think this part was not so difficult, right? The third part of the listening. And then finally, in part number 4 of the listening, you had to read the sentences and hear a conversation between Tom and his sister Claire. So they were talking about school, and then you had to answer either no or yes to the questions 22, or 25. Okay, so that was part 4 of the listening. So I don't know if you have any questions or anything at all that you would like to talk about in the listening part of the exam. Was it difficult for you? Did you find it easy? Was normal? No? Okay, nothing at all. All right. Good, guys. So then we had the reading part, which was the longest part of the exam. Carlos says it was a bit difficult, the listening. Yes, we are stepping up. Like the levels are getting more and more difficult each time. Okay, then we have the reading. You had to look at the text in each question and what is the meaning of that, like sign, right? So we had some pictures, some signs, and then you had to interpret, select the sentence that had the same meaning, okay? So in the first one was, do not go away until we have checked your books. 2, it was to remind her to do something, recordarle hacer algo. Next, well, there's a mistake here. The answer was, please don't leave any toys outside this room when you go. No dejes ningún juguete afuera de esta sala cuando te vayas. Number 4, to arrive punctually, Ed should use a different route. 5, it's the evening entertainment. Okay, so then you had a sign, you had to interpret it and select the most appropriate sentence with the same meaning. All right, that was for part of the reading. Then we have the next part of the reading. They were people looking for a college course. So you had all the descriptions for the courses and then select the letters for each person according to the paragraph. This part, I think most of you did good. So we just can skip that. It was easy for you or not that difficult, let's say. Then in the next part, we had about European travel. So you had to read the text and then read the statement. And if it was correct, you selected letter A. And if it was incorrect, you had to select letter B. Okay? So that was the dynamic. You can see here. It was just to interpret what was on the text with words that synonyms maybe or is paraphrase. So you had to interpret it and select if it was correct or incorrect. Okay, that was in the reading part, a lot of questions in that. All right, then we continue in the reading part 4. I think this was one of the most more difficult exam exercises in the exam. Okay, you had a question and then select what was the correct answer, multiple choice. So was based on a text. What is the writer trying to do? So the intention of the writer. Then it was to describe what it's like to live in a tower. She was just telling us how is life in a tower. Then from the text, a reader can find out, podemos descubrir, that why John and Elizabeth left their flat. Which one of the following describes Elizabeth's feelings about the tower? She likes most things about it. Le gustan la mayoría de cosas de la torre. What problems Elizabeth have with living in such a tall building? She cannot bring home lots of shopping at once. This is one of the problems that she mentioned. She cannot bring home a lot of things at once from the shopping, right? And 25, how will John and Elizabeth advertise their tower if they sell it? So the advertisement, if they ever sell this tower, how would it be? For sale, a house with a difference. A castle tower turned into a lovely home and wonderful view. All right? So again, it was a bit more challenging because we needed to interpret the intention of the writer, and it was not literal from the text, but we had to do some interpretation, right? Okay, this part also was a bit difficult in reading part 5. It's related to grammatical structures, right? We had, the topic was camping. Let's read it very quickly, and let's see if you have questions in this part. Although some groups of people have always lived outdoors, camping as we know it today only began to be popular about 50 years ago. The increase in the use of cars and improvement in camping equipment have allowed more people to travel longer distances into the countryside and to stay there in greater comfort. Many campers like to be by themselves. This is a common expression, to be by yourself, estar solo, in quiet areas. So they take their tent and food and walk or cycle into the forest or the mountains. Others, preferring to be near people, drive to a public or privately owned campsite, which which has up-to-date facilities like hot water, hot showers, and swimming pools. Whether campers are alone in the mountains or on a busy site, they should remember to leave the area clean and tidy. In the forest, they must put up any fires and keep food hidden to avoid attracting wild animals. Okay, so do we have any questions in this particular exercise? Any answers that you want to compare? Maybe you had a different answer. That is why we recommend you keep maybe your answer so you can then check with us. Oh, I wrote this. Why is this not possible instead of the correct answer? And that's how we can like compare, right? So that was the reading, final part of reading. Then we had the writing. In this case, you had to complete the sentences. So complete the sentence so that it means the same as the first. This type of exercises are challenging because we don't need to use, sometimes we use the same words, but other times we need to change it completely, right? For example, here, too small is big enough. So it's not just to use similar words, but that the meaning is the same, or is similar or the same meaning as the example that we have. So in the first one, my friend told me that I could stay in his flat. My friend said, you can stay in my flat. Some of you wrote, you can be in my flat. It was also a possibility. So I took that as a valid answer. You can be in my flat. You can use my flat. All right, it could be possible, but the correct or exact answer was you can stay in my flat. Yes, Gerson?
Yes, teacher. The second sentence is correct. Use for 2 months.
Yes, sorry. This is a mistake in the exam. Sorry. The answer was actually
Okay.
4. Okay? This is a mistake in the exam. I started living here 2 months ago. I have lived here for 2 months. El since no va acá. Since sería since July, since May, okay? Desde mayo, desde since una fecha pasada, ¿ok? En este caso la respuesta era for. Entonces, si te escribieron for, estaba bien, ¿ok? For 2 months. Number 3, this is the first time I have lived in a city. I have, nos daban esta, I have, entonces, never lived in a city before. Nunca he vivido en una ciudad antes. The flat has 2 bedrooms. There are 2 bedrooms in the flat. It was correct. Esta también es una falla en la parte en lo escrito. Como ven, las opciones son R2 y 2 bedrooms con el número. Entonces, la de la letra no la tenía en cuenta, pero esta también la tomamos en cuenta en todos los exámenes, ¿no? 2 bedrooms in the flat. Hay 2 habitaciones en el apartamento. And this one was, I think, the most difficult. My bedroom is too small for all my books. Mi habitación es muy pequeña para todos mis libros. Entonces nos decían, my bedroom is not for all my books. Debía ser big enough. No es lo suficientemente grande para todos mis libros. Es decir, es muy pequeña. ¿Ok? Entonces vemos que no usábamos ninguna palabra de la oración original, pero debía tener el mismo significado. ¿Ok? All right. And that was it. This is just the paragraphs. So I don't know if you have any questions, recommendations, any feedback that you would like to tell us maybe for this cycle. So I am going to hear your opinions, your thoughts in this moment. All right. Okay, no questions, no comments about the exam. Sylvia says it was easier than the reading because that part I didn't have enough time. Yes, so that's one thing that we need to take into account, especially in the standard test. They are longer, so they take more time. We need to be aware of the time and not spend so much time on one exercise, but just try to have a constant like pace or rhythm so that we can complete the whole text without any worries, okay? Okay, guys, so that was our feedback for the exam. Now, let's start the presentation for the course, for B2 level, all right? So we are going to continue with 4-hour classes, okay? During the whole B2 level, B2-1, B2-2, B2-3, 4, and 5. So all the cycles will be 4 hours. That is why we can finish in October, right? We need longer hours, but less time finishing the course, okay? So this part, B2 would be 4 hours, and then the call center part would be 2 hours, all right? Entonces, vamos a continuar con las clases de 4 horas en el nivel B2. Okay? Yes, you see?
¿Cuándo es que vamos a 3?
No vamos a bajar a 3. Entonces,
No.
cuando empezamos el programa, estaba proyectado para hacer ese cambio en el nivel B2 y en la parte de call center. Entonces, eso ha cambiado por los acuerdos del instituto con la gobernación. Entonces, pues para poder terminar antes, que está proyectado para terminar en octubre, decidieron que se continuara con el horario de 4 horas diarias. Y para la parte de call center serán 2 horas diarias, ¿ok? Eso es lo que tenemos hasta ahora. Entonces, para el nivel B2 continuamos con las 4 horas. ¿Ok?
Ok, teacher.
Carlos.
Yes, teacher. Entonces, ¿el nivel B2 cuándo terminaría?
Son aproximadamente, no tengo la fecha exacta. Todo el programa está proyectado para octubre. Entonces, ahí puedes hacer la cuenta. Cada nivel son aproximadamente 10 días. Entonces, hay que tener en cuenta si hay festivos y demás. Estaríamos diciendo que para agosto, tal vez. No tengo la fecha exacta, Carlos. No sé, nos tocaría hacer la cuenta. Sí, Julián.
Teacher, yo escucho que en la UIS hay como algo de vacaciones también.
Ok, yo todavía no conozco los cronogramas de, de todo el programa. A mí me van compartiendo el cronograma que sigue, pero creo que no, creo yo que no, porque este programa pues va de corrido, ¿ok? Pero voy a consultar con la coordinadora si me comparte los cronogramas, o por lo menos el siguiente cronograma, pero sé que el siguiente empieza el 26 de julio. Entonces, de junio, perdón, 26 de junio. Este va hasta el 20, aquí tengo la fecha, 26, terminamos el 23 de junio y el B2 empieza el 28 de junio, perdón, 28 de junio. Entonces, no sé tú qué fechas viste de vacaciones de la UIS, pero no sé si coincidan con estas. Creo que yo, que no, que seguimos. ¿Listo? Ok, entonces continuamos. Tenemos, bueno, en la presentación siempre encuentran la información de la directora Laura Dueñas, de la coordinadora Lilian Carolina y de la coordinadora de seguimiento Nancy Ramírez. Es importante que ustedes tengan estos datos siempre, pues si deben escribirles a ellas para alguna situación, lo pueden hacer a través de este medio, ¿ok? En los correos. Recordemos la importancia de la asistencia a este programa. La asistencia se requiere mínima 80% de la asistencia a las clases. Es decir, no podemos faltar a 2 clases, son 8 horas, no podemos faltar a 2 clases sin excusa. Si completamos las 8 horas, ya vamos perdiendo el ciclo, ¿ok? Entonces, debemos tener esto siempre en cuenta. Chicos, si tienen algún problema, calamidad doméstica o no tienen internet, tienen fallas de luz, están enfermos, todo eso, por favor, tomen evidencia y la envían a la coordinadora Nancy para que ella les pueda colaborar con esa excusa, ¿ok? Entonces, todo, pues, obviamente con sus debidas evidencias para que ella pueda hacer el proceso. ¿Listo? Bueno, también encuentran los datos de las profesoras Sandy y Laura Juliana. Allí están nuestros correos electrónicos en la presentación. Vamos a ver, les recuerdo el sistema de evaluación de 0 a 5, se aprueba con 3.6. Y recordemos que no hay recuperaciones ni repetición de nivel. Realizamos evaluaciones escritas y orales, entonces en cada clase, cada actividad que ustedes hacen de escritura o conversación, presentaciones que hacen, todo esto nos va sumando pues para la nota de quizzes, para ir evaluando su proceso de aprendizaje. Recordamos el cronograma para este ciclo, es el ciclo 10 del programa B21. Empezamos 8 de junio hasta el 23 de junio. Tenemos un receso el 26 y el 27 de junio y volveríamos el 28, ¿ok? Al nivel B2. En total son 40 horas de clase. Ok, el sistema de evaluación para el nivel B21 tenemos 40% de quizzes, entonces este porcentaje es bastante alto de las actividades que hacemos durante la clase. Virtual 10%, presentación de proyectos vale 20% y cada una de las habilidades del examen vale 7.5, ¿ok? Escucha, lectura, escritura y habla. Ok, los temas que vamos a cubrir en este nivel B21, terminamos el libro Upper Intermediate, ¿ok? Vamos a cubrir las unidades 9, 10, 11 y 12. Ya para el nivel B22 iniciaremos el siguiente libro que es Advanced, ¿ok? Por ahora terminamos el Upper Intermediate con las últimas 4 unidades. ¿Ok? Fechas importantes que debemos tener en cuenta. El jueves 22 de junio es la presentación del primer avance del proyecto. Ya les voy a explicar cuál es el proyecto y qué vamos a hacer. Y el 23 de junio, viernes 23 de junio, es el examen final del B21. Tenemos receso 2 días, junio 26 y 27. ¿Ok? Listo, entonces vamos a hablar sobre el proyecto. El proyecto, el nombre del proyecto es Talk About a Controversial Topic. Les voy a mostrar acá el formato y pues también se los voy a compartir para que ustedes lo puedan leer y lo tengan muy presente, ¿no? Entonces, el tema es, ¿verdad? Discussing a Controversial Issue in Life. En una de las unidades hay una tarea, un task, que nos habla sobre esto, sobre temas controversiales en la vida o en general, ¿no? En el mundo. A controversial issue. Entonces, ¿qué vamos a hacer en este proyecto? Students are expected to talk about an important, this is about a controversial topic. Okay, you are expected to talk about a controversial topic of your choosing. Entonces, ese proyecto también será individual. Ustedes lo van a elegir un tema controversial del cual quieren hablar. ¿Ok? Acá nos dicen, speaking fluently and without fear of making mistakes when presenting and providing information about a controversial issue in life that they might be interested in. Okay? You are going to give find information in here. Content or topic of personal interest, arguing for or against controversial issues, delivered in a clear and standard speech. Entonces, en esta parte del proyecto vamos a hablar sobre un tema controversial y vamos a dar puntos de vista a favor y en contra de este tema, ¿ok? Entonces, for y against y al final nuestra opinión. Entonces, bueno, hoy tenemos la presentación del proyecto. Vamos a ver el monitoring para darles una retroalimentación el 21 de junio. El 22 debemos entregar este primer avance a la carpeta que yo les enviaré y el 23 recibiremos el feedback, la nota que vamos a recibir. Entonces vamos a ver cuáles son estos pasos del proyecto. ¿Listo? Tenemos 5 niveles, entonces tenemos 5 avances. En el primer avance, B2.1, debemos entregar un documento Word, mínimo una página, tamaño carta, que contenga esta información. Entonces, ¿qué tema controversial vamos a elegir? Vamos a dejar de lado temas controversiales de religión o políticos, ¿ok? Entonces puede ser cualquier otro tema controversial, excepto político o religioso. Algunos ejemplos de estos temas controversiales son girls face more peer pressure than boys. Las niñas o chicas enfrentan más presión social que los hombres, los niños. La edad de votación debería bajar a los 16 años, ¿ok? Los humanos no deberían comer animales, por ejemplo. Entonces, todo eso son como temas controversiales que podemos elegir, ¿ok? Entonces, primero, ¿qué debemos incluir? ¿Cuál es nuestro tema? Segundo, ¿por qué lo elegimos? Why we chose it. Tercero, ¿por qué es controversial? Why is it controversial? Cuarto, when it happened or happens. ¿Cuándo sucedió esto o cuándo sucede? Suele suceder. How it happened o happens. ¿Cómo sucede o cómo sucedió? Y una descripción básica del tema. A basic description of the issue. ¿Ok? It cannot be political or religious. Entonces, a esta primera entrega, seleccionamos nuestro tema y respondemos a las preguntas que están ahí. Tipo de problema, por qué lo elegimos, por qué es controversial, cuándo ocurre, dónde, cómo ocurre y una descripción básica de este problema. ¿Ok? Any questions? ¿Alguna pregunta sobre sobre el proyecto, este primer avance.
No, teacher.
Ok, listo. Entonces, les voy a enviar este formato para que lo tengan en cuenta y lo debemos enviar el 22 de junio, ¿ok? Right, so that is it. And finally, the important information en la presentación encuentran el enlace al sistema académico donde consultamos las notas, el acceso a Moodle, link de diapositivas. Ahí van a encontrar todas estas diapositivas. Un momento, por favor. Denme un momento. All right, guys. So we can continue. Tell me, do you have any questions about our this level, about the dates, the grades, anything at all? Any questions?
No, teacher.
Okay. So let's start. Now we can start with our topic for today. So I will open the book on page 86 and 87. 86, 87. We're going to start unit 9, okay? So let's check what are we going to study during this unit. First, we're going to review the use and non-use of articles. So this is a review of when to use the articles and also different ways of giving emphasis in a sentence, okay? Then we have vocabulary, some phrasal verbs, which is what we're going to study today, and then vocabulary related to right and wrong. This is it. And the task is to collect and present tips. So basically, this is our unit number 9. So we're going to start. We can see this person over here, and then we have a quotation, like in quotation marks. If you want to be successful in life, it's necessary to get yourself noticed. If you want to be successful in life, it's necessary to get yourself noticed. Tell me, guys, what do you think about this quote? Is it true? Do you agree? You disagree? And why? I will hear volunteer opinions. So, what do you think about this quotation? Si quieres ser exitoso en la vida, es necesario hacerte notar.
Is in part really true
True, okay.
because sometimes you I don't know how we can say it. You aren't that you are for itself. It's not.
Okay, so what do you mean? So you are not your true self?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, beside this, you are more. You are more like you seem lo que aparentas. I don't know.
Okay, so you are what you like you show to the world, right? Yes,
Yeah,
how you behave.
because you could be very smart, but
Mhm.
if you have low notes in
Okay.
your in maybe for because it doesn't matter for you, the world will be your notes, and
Mhm.
if your notes are low, you are low
Okay.
even if you are very smart, but
You are intelligent.
you never show it.
Okay, you don't show it.
You don't show it. That I don't know how we
Mhm.
can say.
Okay. All right. So you say the quote is partially true. In part,
Yeah,
it's true. Okay. Now, Silvia, what's your opinion?
Teacher, for me, depends because the desire to be successful in life uh, change. Maybe my desire to be successful in life is I don't know, feel peace, or
Okay.
maybe
Not
I don't know,
necessarily money.
yes, money, not necessary to be famous or well
Mhm.
known. It depends the person.
Mhm. Okay. I understand. So it depends on your definition of success, what
Oh
it
yes, or
means.
to be yes, to be successful in life. My definition is different to the
Okay.
definition. I don't know.
Of
Yes.
another person. Yeah, okay. So it really depends on the person. Maybe if your successful definition is to be famous, then of course you need to get yourself noticed, right? You need to stand out from the people. But if your definition of success is to be at peace, maybe relaxed, with a normal job, maybe you don't need to get yourself noticed, right? That much. So it really depends on what each person considers as success in their lives, right? Okay, good. Now let's check next actions. We have some actions that will may get you noticed. So which of these actions are more likely to get you noticed? Okay, so doing which actions is more probable or likely that people will notice you, like see you. Oh, this is this person, right? They will uh, take take notice of you. So the first, wearing clothes that are different to other people's, making eye contact with people when you first meet them, referring to important people that you know or claim to know, like saying, oh, I know the manager of this company, or I know this important person, okay? Referring to important people. Listen carefully to what other people say. So paying attention, being a good listener. Saying publicly what you believe in, even if it's unpopular. So saying to people, this is my opinion, and even if it's not a popular opinion, you just talk about it. And finally, keeping your opinions to yourself and avoiding making a fuss, como evitar hacer un alboroto. So just your opinions are yours and you don't share it with people to avoid conflict. So let's see. Which of these actions might get you noticed? Harán que las personas te noten, ¿no? Se fijen en ti. What do you think? Maybe the first one, yes or no? Wearing clothes that are
teacher.
different. We can say this one, yes.
Yes.
Wearing clothes that are different.
Yes, teacher.
The second, making eye contact.
Me,
Yes.
No,
maybe,
Also,
no.
not the most. So maybe, but not very likely. So no. Referring to important people that you know or that you claim to know. What do you think?
I believe that not is necessary.
No, right? I think this is actually the opposite. Like a person that is always talking, oh, I know this or I have this. It's like people don't really like it, right? When you are very, we say, creído, right? Like conceited in yourself. So not very good. Listening to what others say carefully. What do you think? Will this get you noticed or not?
Maybe. Yes.
Maybe. Paying attention, listening carefully. Maybe. Then saying your opinion in public, saying publicly what you believe, even if it's unpopular opinion.
Yes.
I think yes,
teacher.
people will notice you. Mhm. And finally, this is the opposite. So keeping your opinions to yourself, no, definitely won't get you noticed. People won't pay attention to you because you are just not expressing your opinion, okay? Avoiding making like a fuss or a big deal. Alboroto. All right, now we're going to read the article, okay? After we read it, then we will answer the questions in part 3. So the article talks about how to stand out from the crowd, all right? How to stand out from the crowd. Do you want people to pay more attention to you and show you more respect? Read what the experts say and you will never be overlooked again. Okay, let's start reading. The first part, let's hear maybe Jeanette. Number 1.
Make an entrance. You only get one chance to make a first impression, so here's how to stand out from the crowd when you walk into a room. Make a contact, look other people in the eye. It is the key to creating a connection with people. Be a good actor. If you don't feel confident, pretend you are. Before you walk in, think to yourself, I own the room. Then walk in holding your head high and smile. Soon you will feel as confident as you look. Raise your status. In his book for actors in pro, Kate Johnston describes how we all play the status game, whether we know it or not. Our status is our social position compared to other people.
Okay, let's continue with another student. Thank you, Jeanette. Gerson, you can continue in the second part of number 1. When you walk into a room,
Yes, teacher. Okay, when you walk into a room, it is a good idea to raise your status if you want to be noticed. That means holding yourself upright but relaxed, keeping your head and hands still, smiling and speaking slowly and clearly. People will pay more attention to you if you do these things. Although they will find you aloof and unfriendly if you behave like this all the time. Continue, teacher.
Yes, please finish. Hold your breath.
Okay. Hold your breath when you walk in. Steve Cohen, author of Win the Crowd, recommends this simple tip. Take a deep breath before you walk into a room and then hold it. It makes you more radiant and lively, but remember not to hold in too long or you will pass out.
You will pass out. Okay, good. So these are the tips. First, when you enter a room, right? Make eye contact, look people in the eye. So to be a good actor, pretend that you feel confident. You think, oh, I own this room, like, soy dueño de este lugar, ¿no? I have confidence. You hold your head high, like, don't look on the floor or be like nervous. No, you just enter the room, you look everyone in the eye and hold your head up. Smile, okay? So this is to be a good actor. Raise your status. This is what it says. To raise our status, so we holding yourself upright. Like, this is upright, not like this, but upright. Relax, keeping your head and your hands still, like, of course, not shaking, but just be relaxed, smiling, and speaking slowly and clearly, okay? And final tip is to hold your breath when you walk into the room, okay? This will make you look more radiant and lively, como con vida, lively, okay? So this is the first part, make an entrance. Then the second part, let's start reading. Natalia, sound like an expert.
Okay, teacher. Sound like an expert. Malcolm Gladwell, author of Old Life, says 10,000 hours of practice is necessary to really become an expert to anything. That's equivalent to about 3 hours a day for 10 years. If you haven't got that much time, here's how to take it. Make an habit of name dropping. Refer to famous experts as though they are your friends. For example, say, do you know Professor Russell Banks? He tends to agree with me on these matters. It's hard to argue,
Argue?
argue with experts, and even harder to argue with people who aren't there.
People who aren't there. Okay, continue, Mabeli. The second part of the second. Use a lot.
Use lots of abbreviations.
Abbreviations.
Abbreviations and acronyms. Someone who says, I need to call HQ ASAP sounds much more expert than someone who says, I need to call headquarters as soon as possible. Use words like zeitgeist, paradigm, and panacea. No. Most people are familiar with words like this, but don't know exactly what they mean.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to make things up. If other people think you are an expert, they won't suspect you are making it up. However, if you do meet a real expert, make your excuses, and if they will see through you immediately.
They will see through you immediately. So, well, this part talks about sounding like an expert, okay? Let's read it and tell me if you have any questions about vocabulary. This is Malcolm Gladwell, the author of Outliers. This is the name of the book. Says that 10,000 hours of practice is necessary to become an expert at anything. This is equivalent about 3 hours a day for 10 years. Can you imagine? 3 hours a day for 10 years. That is a long time. So if you haven't got that much time, here's how to fake it. What is the meaning of fake it?
False.
Like pretend, como fingir esto, ¿no? Que eres un experto. How to fake it. Make a habit of name dropping. What do you think this means? Name dropping. No?
Mencionar nombres.
Yes. When you say, for example, oh, Professor this, he agrees with me, or important person, and then you tell your opinion or something. So they are saying fake that you are an expert, name dropping, like diciendo nombres importantes. For example, do you know Professor Russell Banks? He agrees with me on these matters, okay? It says that it's hard to argue. What is the meaning of argue?
Like argumentar.
Yes, discutir o argumentar, to argue with experts, and even more difficult, harder to argue with people who aren't there. Entonces dice, difícil competir o discutir con expertos y aún más con personas que no están allí. Si yo menciono a alguien que no está allí, pues no me van a contradecir. No one is going to contradict you, right? The second tip is to use abbreviations and acronyms, okay? This is called anachronism, okay? Someone who can say, I need to call HQ ASAP. Have you heard this acronym? ASAP or ASAP?
As soon as possible.
Yes, it's very common in English. I need to go home ASAP, as soon as possible, okay? So this is just a tip to use the acronym in English. Then use words like they are not very clear for people, like zeitgeist. I think this is a word in German, paradigm or panacea. So people are familiar with the words, but they don't know what they mean. Like you can use them to distract the person, right? To sound more like an expert. And finally, don't be afraid of make things up. Do you understand this? To make things up?
No, teacher.
No idea. So let me give you an example. So
Hacer cosas. Como inventar.
yes, invent, but in a like negative way, like to mentir.
Como mentir.
Yes, to make things up is to invent, but to lie, okay, about something. So, for example, the girl doesn't want to go to school and she makes up that she doesn't have class tomorrow, okay? So this is like making something up. If other people think you are an expert, they won't suspect you are making it up, que lo estás inventando. But if you meet a real expert, make your excuses and leave because they will see through you immediately. Can you understand the meaning of this? To see through you immediately. If you meet an expert and you are just telling lies, making things up, they will see through you immediately. No idea?
A través de ti.
Okay,
Algo
so
así.
what is this?
Something like that.
Verán a través de ti. Okay, but what is the meaning of this? It's not literal. Like you cannot see through a person literally. But what do you think this means?
Que se van a dar cuenta de la mentira de una.
Exactly, yes. When you say, I see through you immediately, it's like I can identify your lies. What you are saying is a lie, okay? This is the meaning. To see through something or through someone. Okay, and finally we have, Jessie, can you start reading? Number 3, act like a leader.
Okay, act like a leader. Despite what you read in books and see in films, good leaders are not born that way. They learn to be that way. So, if you don't feel like a leader, remember that you can become one. Here is how. Set goals, present a vision and a path to achieve
Achieve
it.
it. Mhm.
Let people achieve it. Let people know what you stand for. Stand up for what you believe in. In 1950s, Alabama, black people were expected to give their seats on the bus to white people. One day in 1955, Rosa Parks, a black woman, refused to do this. I don't think I should have to stand up, she said, and I don't so she sparked the American Civil Rights Movement. Leaders at some point have to stand up for what they believe in.
They have to stand up for what they believe in. Okay, and Lisette, please continue with the next part. Listen and learn.
Listen and learn. Leadership is about communication and building relationships. It's about finding out which ideas really unite, unite,
Unite.
okay, unite people and then expressing those ideas clearly. Treat the people who followed you as equals. The only difference between a leader and a lone voice is the wilderness, is that the leader has followers, so treat them well. And finally, remember this. If you really, really want to be a leader, and if you need other people to look up to you, then you're probably not a leader at all. You're a narcissist. Leadership is not about other people serving you, it's about you serving other people.
All right, good. Let's check it again quickly and let's clarify some vocabulary, okay? First is despite. What is the meaning of despite?
pesar
Despite,
de,
a pesar de, yes. Despite what you read in books, good leaders are not born that way. They learn to be that way, okay? So you can become a leader. Here is how to become a leader. Set goals, present a vision and a path. So you state your vision and then the path to achieve it. What is path?
¿no?
Camino, yes. The path to a vision. So you have your vision, your goal, and then you show the people the path to get to your goal, okay? So this is let people know what you stand for. What is your opinion, okay? What do you stand for? Then we have stand up for what you believe in. Here we have the word stand up 2 times. Okay? Stand up for what you believe in. Oops. Stand up for what you believe in. And here we have, I don't think I should have to stand up. Tell me, do you think they have the same meaning? These expressions mean the same in this sentence or they have different meanings?
Different meanings, teacher.
Okay, Natalia, and can you tell me what is the difference?
In the first part is it's like a fight. It's
Okay,
uh, I don't know
like to defend.
defend. Yes,
Okay,
defend.
yes.
And the second is a get like don't remember levantarse. Como
Yes. Uh-huh. So like the action, the physical
yes,
action of standing up.
yes.
Yes, it's correct. Very good. Stand up for what you believe in. So this phrasal verb has the two meanings. So to stand up, literally, I just can stand up from my chair here, or I can stand up for what I believe in, like defend my beliefs, my thoughts. I can defend them. All right. So they have two different meanings. Okay. Um, okay, and I don't know any more vocabulary.
Teacher, sparked.
Okay, this is sparked. So she sparked the American Civil Rights Movement. Spark is como chispa, spark. In this case, is a verb, como iniciar, okay? To spark something is to start something. Como inició el movimiento de los derechos civiles en América o americanos, okay? This is the meaning. Okay, another word. Lone, okay. You said the only difference between a leader and a lone voice. Lone is similar to alone, right? Or lonely. So the difference with alone, look at the sentences I'm going to write. Okay. I am alone. Yo soy solo. I am alone voice. Soy una voz solitaria. Okay. So lone is like solitario. Lone debe siempre ir acompañado de un noun. Okay. De un sustantivo. Soy un algo solitario. Okay. Una voz solitaria. El alone, no. Simplemente yo estoy solo. Okay. So this is the difference between alone and lone. A lone voice in the wilderness. What is the wilderness? No idea. Wilderness. La naturaleza. Okay. Wilderness. Wilderness. And then what else do we have? Okay, I think those are the words. So now we are just going to answer the questions in part 3. Okay? I'll give you some minutes to check the questions. We have 9 questions in total. So I'll give you some time to check the text. Then when you finish answering, please let me know on the chat so we can socialize your answers together. Okay, answer the questions in part 3. All right, guys, let me know when you are ready, okay?
One moment, please, teacher.
Okay. All right, guys, let's share your answers on the activity of the article. Okay, let's start with the first one. We will do it voluntarily. If you want to answer, raise your hand, okay? First, okay, Mabeli, thank you. And second, Johan, why should you look people in the eye when you make an entrance? Mabeli.
Teacher, because the purpose is that you can create a connection immediately with people.
Yes, the purpose is to create a connection with people, looking them in the eye. Okay, good. Thank you, Mabeli. The second, Johan, why shouldn't you move your hands?
The second answer, I don't.
You don't have it? Okay, let's check here. You had the first but not the second. Okay, so we have here, when you walk into a room, it's a good idea to raise your status, like keeping your hand in your hands still, like to not show that you are nervous, like show that you have a higher status. Okay, this is the purpose of keeping your hands still, not shaking, but still, quietas. Okay. The third one, let's see if anyone has the answer. Why is it a good idea to hold your breath when entering a room? Okay, Jessie, why is it a good idea to hold your breath?
Okay, because this simple tip makes you more radiant and lively.
Yes, it helps you look more radiant and lively. Okay, good. Sylvia, for the next four, why can it be useful to mention the names of other experts?
It helps you to sound like an expert.
Like an expert, okay? So it makes you sound like an expert. Okay, number five. Now let's ask some students. Elkin, for example, how can language help you to sound like an expert?
Technical language and using
Mhm.
abbreviations and acronyms.
Yes, good. So using words that are not very, we don't know the exact meaning, like, or technical vocabulary.
Weird words.
Mhm.
Weird words. Yes.
Weird words, and also the acronyms and abbreviations. Okay, this is how language can help us to sound like an expert. All right, who has his hand up? Okay, Gerson. Six, when is it a bad idea to bluff? Bluff es como decir mentiras, ¿no? Bluff.
Okay, teacher, when you stay or meet with
Mhm.
a real expert, people expert
Yes.
about the
Uh-huh.
topic.
Of course, yes. When you hear, when you are with an expert, you cannot bluff because they will notice that you are lying. Okay, good. Carlos, for number seven, in what ways was Rosa Parks a leader?
Yes, teacher. And leaders at some point have to stand up for what they believe in.
Yes, so she stood up for her beliefs that she shouldn't give her seat to white people on the bus, right? This is what she believed in. So she was a leader in that way. All right, good. Maybe let's see, Jose, number eight. Why are true leaders different from a lone voice in the wilderness?
Teacher, because leaders has followers, so
Yes.
treat them well.
Yes, good. So a leader has followers versus a lone voice that they don't have any followers. Okay, and finally, Natalia, number nine. Why are narcissists bad leaders?
Teacher, narcissists think leadership is about other people looking up,
Yes.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and serving them. When
Mm,
in fact, true leaders treat other people as equal and serve them.
yes. So a leader is not someone that should you serve, but in that way, the leader serves all the others, right? So it can help others and be equal, not just like the leader is here and the rest of people here. No. Okay, this is a narcissist. All right, very good. Excellent, guys. So to finish this part of the discussion, I want you to think about this article what you like the most, or what is a useful tip that you got from the article. Okay, there are some things that are not very like serious. For example, this like name dropping or using weird words. I don't think this is very useful, but I want you to think if there's anything useful that you can take from this article, just to stand out from the crowd, para hacernos notar, right? What can you take from this article? I will give you 2 minutes to think about it, and then I will ask some of you individually, all right? What is the most useful thing that you found in this text?
For my teacher, add like a leader.
Okay, act
Uh,
like a leader.
yes, teacher. Because the other things I don't like specifically say a lie for
Yes,
try impression
impress others. Yes, to
impress
impress
other
others
impress other people. In my
is
case,
not very good.
doesn't like if I have to choose a one thing, I choose a leader.
Okay, good. Act like a leader. All right. Anyone else maybe that would like to give their opinion? What is the most useful thing from the text? Maybe Lisette?
Teacher, maybe stand up for what you believe in,
Mhm.
because I think it makes you feel confident in front of others.
Mhm.
And if you live for what you believe and not for what people say. I don't know.
Okay, good. Yes, to defend your position, your beliefs in front of others. Right, good. Okay, guys, so to finish today, we're going to do this exercise in part one about vocabulary. So we saw these phrasal verbs like to stand out from the crowd, to pass out, to make something up, sit through someone, stand up for something, or look up to someone. So I'll give you a couple of minutes, maybe 4 minutes, to check the correct meaning for this phrasal verb. Okay, remember that phrasal verbs are expressions in English that are very common and that people use every day. So some phrasal verbs have different meanings. Okay, phrasal verb is a combination of a verb plus a preposition. So stand out, stand up, to make something up. So it's a verb with a preposition. So let's take some minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, to select the answer. You circle the correct definition for this phrasal verb, okay? And then we correct. Okay, guys, ready? You have your answers?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let's start checking. So, Jeanette, can you read the first one? Stand up from the crowd means?
Stand out from the crowd means seem different from others. Everyone different from.
Different from everyone else. Is to seem different than everyone else. All right, good. Gerson, for the second one, to pass out.
Okay, teacher, become unconscious?
Yes, to become unconscious.
Conscious, okay.
Good, to become unconscious. Johan, the third, to make something up.
Teacher, using other people's information?
Not really, it's to invent information, okay? To invent. Let's see, Julian, for number 4, to see through someone.
How that someone is lying.
Yes, to know that someone is lying. Good. Let's see, maybe Jessit for number 5. Stand up for something.
Means say publicly
Yes, means to
what you
say
believe.
publicly what you believe. It's correct. And the last one, Silvia Natalia, to look up to someone.
Respect someone.
Is to respect someone. Okay, good. So let me show you. Now, just to finish today, it will be very quick. I will show you some pictures and then you can write on the chat what it's the correct phrasal verb that it represents, okay? So I'll show you and you can write it on the chat. So this one, the first picture. Write it on the chat. What is the correct phrasal verb? Yes, this is to pass out. Good, to pass out. Next picture. What do you think? Okay. Yes, Jean-Claude. Yes, to look up to someone. Entonces, ahí recordemos, look up to. No look up someone, look up to someone. Okay? Admirar a alguien. Look up to someone. Next. The truth, and then you can see all the lies.
See through someone.
This is to see through someone. Good. See through someone or something. All right. Next one. This one. What do we have? To stand out. Stand out from the crowd. Yes. Good. The last one. This one says, make your voice heard. What is this? To stand up for something. All right, good. I think there is one more. Okay, this one. Yes, the last one. To make something up. To make something up. All right, guys, very good. That is all for this part of the class. So you will continue with teacher Sandy in the next part, okay? That's all, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Teacher.
Thank you.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.